Hello, my name is Hakon, and welcome back to my channel, all you fabulous fighting fantasy aficionados everywhere where you might be spending your time as you are watching this, to what is going to be the fifth episode, is it not, of Armies of Death Fighting Fantasy Gamebook number 36. Which I have been playing in slightly shorter, smaller installments than usual. I'm trying to keep my episode length below 1 hour now and see if I can do that again today. That'll be interesting to see. So this is a continuation of my previous episodes. If you want to keep up with what's been going on, I would recommend, of course, that you watch those first. I'm not going to do a full recap today. I'm going to say that in this book, you are the leader of an army, your own private army that you funded together with the purchase of a castle. After you won the Trial of Champions in the city of Fang, and you got the prize money from Baron Sukhumvit for beating his death trap dungeon. And instead of just comfortably retiring in luxury, you have decided to spend your money on a castle and a private army. And for whatever reason, you seem to have decided that it's your job to stop the invasion of an evil army that's threatening to ruin the kingdom and the world and the lands with a scourge of goblins, orcs, and undead, all led by the demon Aglax. So, in this journey, your mission has been to try to recruit a few more men, which might aid you in your quest. And also, it seems there are a few items along the way that might be necessary to complete it. In good old-fashioned Ian Livingstone style. Now, generally, until this point, I've certainly have enjoyed this book quite a lot, I must say, and one of the reasons is that there has been a little bit more combat dynamics than usual. Because you have an army, you have a different kind of combat now called skirmish combat, where the number of men that you fight with is compared to the number of beings that you're fighting against. And you roll dice to see the outcome and how many people on each side are defeated. And which is interesting. There's been some fights that have been governed by choices. There's been some that have been governed by dice rolls, rather than by, not in the normal way of comparing stats to stats and rolling and removing 2 stamina per time, but rather a different kind of dice roll system. So there's been a lot more variety in the game mechanics, and especially, I must say, thankfully, in the game mechanics that I can find a little bit dull, and which is one of the reasons why I pretty much stopped using dice and ability scores when playing these games. So, all that said, oh yes, and even a bit of poetry in this book was actually better quality, I believe, than, in my opinion, than Ian Livingstone has done before in the series. So it's all good so far, and I'm going to keep going. So at this point in the game, I've left my hometown, I've gone past the marsh, I've gone past the tree, I've gone to the town of the Hillmen and tried to recruit people there unsuccessfully. I have gone to the city of Zengis and tried to recruit a few men, which I have, and also I managed to win a bet, win a pie eating contest of all things, which also adds a bit of flavor, you might say, to the book, which is quite enjoyable, as one of my patrons and frequent commentators pointed out as well. A bit of fun in those situations and those encounters. I'm quite liking that as well. And now we are getting towards the end of certainly the last third, I would say, of the book. So at this point, I am looking for an oracle that's going to give me some kind of help in my quest to defeat the evil army, and I am going there before I go to the place where this army is supposed to be. So we left this game last time just as I was about to head into what seems like a little dungeon crawl, which is where the Oracle is. Now, very importantly, I'm just going to swap views now to this one, and just move the mouse out of the way. And so very importantly, last time I was given a bit of a clue as to how to find my way through the dungeon, the maze of the Oracle. And if I can find it again, it said that yes, it's on there. Would be on the last page, wouldn't it? Yes. So every junction I'm supposed to turn right. That's very important. Number 4. What was the thing about number 4? Hang on, I'll just have to check now. There was something about... There will be some number puzzles or choices here. And don't... If you have to choose a number you can see, don't choose one with a 4 in it, is the advice that was given to me by my guide. And so that's another thing, and also turning right every time. Right, so that's where we're at, and I think I'm going to be using my reading glasses again today. It's kind of a sort of a military green color, these ones, which I quite like. Actually, it matches my jacket. I have not shown it to you, but last year I had to get a new jacket. My old jacket was really worn. I'd had it for, oh gosh, I think it's about 17 years, something like that. And I was looking online and saw that the same kind of jacket that I had from before would cost something ridiculous like £600 now. It's gone up seriously since I bought one. And it's not even that great a fit for me. I mean, most jackets are not a great fit for me, let's be honest, because I'm tall and thin, and my body shape is just completely not what jackets, most jackets are made for. So I thought, well, I'll just have a look at something like Army surplus, and I found this website where they sold Army surplus stuff, and it turns out that they had some Austrian Army field jackets. And they come in extra long, so I thought I'd go down. So instead of getting extra large, which is what I have been doing a lot of my life, even though that's completely the wrong shape for me, I just need extra large just to get the right length, especially for the... And even then, my sleeve length is usually a bit on the short side. So I was able to get a large extra long. The sleeves are still a little bit on the short side. I can live with that. Very solid jacket, but the length of the jacket is great. It goes below the bum, which is where I want it for windy days. Also, interestingly, it's not waterproofed, but it's a double jacket, so it's 2 complete separate layers of fabric, and for some reason that makes it pretty much waterproof. I've been out in absolute horrible rain, and it still hasn't seeped through the jacket yet. So it's actually better than a waterproof jacket, which is amazing. And also the Austrian field jackets are one of the few field uniforms still in use, certainly in Europe, that actually doesn't have camouflage color. It's just a kind of a military green, which is why they go with these glasses. So that's an absolutely brilliant jacket. And of course, it was new old stock, the one I bought. So it was a bit musty from being in a warehouse in a plastic bag for a really long time. So I had to wash it twice, but I washed it twice and now it smells nice. And yeah, so I'm very happy with that jacket. It's quite heavy. It's quite warm as well. But because it is mostly cotton, it's very good quality cotton as well. It's breathable, it's comfortable. It's a very And I'll call it the first jacket I've had that actually fit me. Anyway, I am digressing. I do apologize, although not so much, because I know some people watching this actually quite like that. So I'm going to head into... Oh, if I can just move these maps over in the right place, and also prepare my water in case I need a sip along the way. Right, so I'm going to paragraph 219 and enter the Oracle's dungeon. The cave funnels down into a passageway which is dark and cold. Droplets of water fall from the ceiling with a loud plop into shallow pools on the floor, and occasionally you think you can hear a woman's laugh coming from a long way away. The passage soon ends at a junction. If you wish to go left, turn to 17. If you wish to go right, turn to 121. So I'm supposed to go right now instead of left. So that is what I have been told. I don't know, but I've been told. Always turn right if you want to get old. Okay. So left, right. 1, 2, 1. A large stone slab blocks your progress down the passageway. However, a slot for a key and a crack between the slab and the side wall lead you to suppose that it could slide into the wall. 3 skulls are mounted on stone plinths around the slot, each with a key placed on top and a number stamped on the forehead. If you wish to try a key in the slot, choose a number and turn to it. If you would rather walk back to the junction and try the other passageway, turn to 17. So we have 93, 46, and 3, 3, 4. And 2 of those options have a number 4 in them, which means, according to my guide, those are the wrong options. So that means 93 has to be the right one, according to the information I have been given, and that I hopefully can trust. So 93. So it's nice to have an Ian Livingstone book with a proper clue in it, just like Steve Jackson is better known for, I would say. The key turns in the slot and you hear a faint click. With a coarse grating sound, the stone slab slides back into the wall and you are able to proceed along the passageway. However, it soon ends at another junction. If you wish to go left, turn to 235. If you wish to go right, turn to 381. And again, we are turning right. So there we are, left, right. 381, 381. The passageway opens out into a high-ceilinged cave, brightly lit by hundreds of burning candles. Am I too close to the bottom? Maybe I am. In the middle is a marble fountain carved in the shape of a young goddess, dressed in long robes. Water trickles from an urn which she is holding under her left arm, and in her right hand she holds a pair of scales. A metal cup rests on top of a plaque in which the word Libra is etched. If you wish to drink some water from the fountain, turn to 11. If you would rather walk through the cave and down the passage in the wall opposite, turn to 221. And it's a bit bizarre now that there's not a third option there, which is to put something in the scales. You would think that was a reasonable thing to add to this particular point. So 11, drink. 221, cave. Did I have any other clues about... there was some clue about... Water of the Gods. Hang on. I did get another clue, didn't I? Let's see, what did it say? To fulfill that mission. So this is an earlier one. I was talking to an old lady who was reading my palm, a lady who I gave a gold piece to, and she says, to fulfill that mission, make sure you drink the water of the gods. Death awaits you if you don't. So I've been given another clue here. So this is actually really amazing gamebook writing. I think this is very Steve Jackson for being Ian Livingstone. There's a second clue. Actually, there's been several little clues and hints now that I've been following just to get to this point. So I must say I'm quite impressed, really. So I'm supposed to drink the water according to that clue or that hint, because this is the water of the gods. So 11. You feel no different for having drunk the water, apart from feeling more refreshed, neither poisoned nor filled with sudden energy. You walk rather disappointedly through the cave and down the passage in the wall opposite, but this might be relevant later. So 2, 2, 1. You walk safely along the passageway for 50 yards until you arrive at a crude sign on the wall which reads, "Give generously." Beneath the sign is a large wooden box with a wide slit in the lid. Put whatever you wish into the box before proceeding along the passageway. Turn to 76. So this is, I wonder, is this where you're supposed to put some item of gold that is supposed to then be a donation to the Oracle and something to do with... So I'm going to save my game here because I'm not sure about this. There's no indication that you should be putting money in there. And of course, money isn't as valuable as other things in this particular game because you have quite a bit of it to start with. But if I give one of my gold items, like the gold, what's it, the gold, I've got the gold seal, number 332, and I had a gold brooch with the number 89 on them. So I'm thinking maybe I should give the gold seal or the gold brooch, but I don't know which one or why, and I've been given no indication of what that might affect. Maybe I should give the gold brooch. Or I'll see afterwards whether it makes a difference and then which one would have made sense to give, because as you know, it's still not cheating, it's just a way of saving time, because if it turns out to be the wrong thing, I could have gone back and done the same all over again. If it's the right thing, then it's fine, and it's, yeah. So so I'm just gonna keep going. I'll just put a donation box on the side there. And then we'll see what happens later to do with the donations. So 76. The passageway opens up into another cave, although this one is completely empty. However, you have a choice of exits. In the far wall, you see the mouths of 3 tunnels, each one carved to resemble the open mouth of a strange creature, the likes of which you have never seen before. You notice the 3 other teeth in the upper jaws of the carved heads have numbers chiseled into them. Choose whichever tunnel you wish to go down and turn to the appropriate number. Again, 2 of the options have 4s in them, which means I know which one not to go. So 2, 7, 3. And that means that if you don't actually get that little clue with the number 4, basically you're screwed because you're so unlikely to actually get through here. Right. So I'm going to go 2, 7, 3. You step warily into the mouth, expecting a trap to be sprung at any moment, but nothing happens, and you are able to walk on until the passage ends at yet another junction. If you wish to go left, turn to 372. Again, not turning left. If you wish to go right, turn to 393. 372. Left, right. Turning right again. The tunnel grows noticeably warmer and is now also bathed in a soft purple light. As you walk on, it gets even hotter, and the light becomes brighter. You begin to sweat and have to squint to reduce the glare of the strong purple light. Suddenly, the floor gives way beneath you, and you find yourself sliding, feet first, down a steep, coiling chute. You see the end of the chute coming, but are sliding too quickly to be able to stop yourself from falling out. You land with a splash in a pool of hot purple liquid. There's a lot of purple going on here, which is situated in the center of another cave. You climb out of the pool and realize that purple light envelops you, radiating out from your body. If you drank the water from the fountain earlier, turn to 42. If you did not drink there, turn to 160. And I like how you do something and the effect of it doesn't come until later. And so you still don't know whether it's good or bad until you're quite a distance away from where you did something or didn't do something. So I'll just do like that. So 42, I did drink from the fountain earlier. Drinking the water of the gods has saved you from a horrible death. The radiating glow gradually dies down, and soon you are back to normal. You look round the cave and find no exits leading from it. A man's face is carved in the rock wall, its eyes closed and its mouth open. As you walk over to examine it closer, the eyes open and a deep voice booms out of the mouth, saying, "I am the Oracle. Although you are not welcome here, I admire your..." I don't know how he's doing that accent. "Admire your determination and effort. No matter how noble your cause, you must pay for the answers to your questions. I too will ask you questions in return. Answer any incorrectly and you will pay with your life. I will start the proceedings, as I know everything. First, you may start by bestowing gifts upon me. You were in Zengis recently. I hope you took the trouble to buy me a brass owl. And I must know how much you paid for it. If you have a brass owl and can remember how many gold pieces you paid for it, turn to that number. If you do not have a brass owl, turn to 206. Now, I do have a brass owl, and my character conveniently remembers how much he paid for it, even though I did not. I was actually thinking of writing down these the prices for some reason, but I didn't do that. But brass owl is 10 gold pieces. Right. So, okay. If you do not have a brass owl, go to 206. So we have... We go to secret, paragraph 10. You reach into your backpack and pull out the brass owl. Put it down on the floor, continues the oracle. Good, but alas, I am very greedy and want something else. Do you have a green vase? And you could give me... Do you have a green vase and can remember how many gold pieces it cost? Oh, that's not, the oracle doesn't say that. Do you have a green vase and remember how many gold pieces it cost? Turn to that number. If you do not possess a green vase, turn to 297. So, green vase, 297. I'll just put here, let's see, owl, green vase. got the green vase as well, 287. That was 20 gold pieces. So this is secret paragraph number 20. So at the moment, it looks like green vase and brass owl are the two essential items from that shop. So 20, paragraph 20, there we are. Excellent, booms the oracle's voice as you pull out the vase from your backpack. Now I'm going to ask you a question, but I'll let fate decide on its difficulty. Let me roll my dice. Test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 341. If you are unlucky, turn to 263. I'm going to presume I'm lucky, but the thing is, it sounds to me like even though you are unlucky here, you should still be able to solve it. You know what? Just for fun now, I'm going to do the unlucky one first. And if that turns out to be impossible, I'm going to go with the lucky one. How does that sound? Okay. Because I don't want to... The thing is, now that all these roads now... Sorry about that. All these choices now that are not made because I knew not to turn left and I knew to avoid the number 4 in my choices means there's lots of things here, many of which probably are insta-deaths and all the fun stuff that I missed. So it's nice to get a little bit of a flavor of what happens when you fail as well, or what happens when things get more difficult. So I'm going to check out the unlucky, which is 263 first. You are very unlucky, so I am forced to ask you a question that you may find a little obscure. Continues the oracle. I have also been fascinated by the sea and seafaring, and once I met a man called OBG. He lives in Zengis and works at an inn. Perhaps you stayed there. He loves racing and sails on the Harim. Now, here's the question. How many crew sail on board Harim? If you know the answer, turn to that number. If you do not know the answer, turn to 108. Okay. So, now, this is the kind of stuff that I don't expect so much of Ian Livingstone, and so I don't actually make the notes on the map as I would, for instance, for a Victoria Hancock's game book. But I have been there, so I know that my character, whose memory of the events happening to him are more vivid than my own, being just the player of that character, he would know what these were. So I'm going to go back and have a little look to paragraph 230, and let's have a little look here. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 crew, it looks like. If you know the answer, turn to that number. Okay, so that should be then paragraph 8, and that is actually a dotted line around it to indicate it actually doesn't say. That's how I map it out usually, to show that it doesn't say in the section exactly what the paragraph number is. Well answered, my friend, says the oracle. And just for curiosity's sake, now before I do that, let's just see what... Oh, I actually put the wrong... I put the wrong thing there, so it's... I swapped lucky and unlucky, so I'm going to do that now. 2, 6, 3... Oops. Hang on. And then it's 341. 341. Lucky, unlucky. Okay. Let's check what happens if you're lucky, what kind of question you get. Fortune smiles on you, the voice says slowly. So tell me, who is the goddess whose statue forms part of my fountain? Will you reply? Lyriel or Libra? Okay, that's super, super easy. Right. Anyway, I am going back to paragraph 8 there, and it says here, well answered, my friend, says the oracle. Now, the final test. I want you to perform some magic for me. You can hear me, but you cannot see me. I think we should be equals. Make yourself invisible. If you own a pet hopper, turn to 224. If you do not own this creature, turn to 108. Okay, so instead of the crow, clearly there was another one that was meant to be 224. Hopper. So the hopper, I presume, is the one that looked a bit like kangaroo, that kangaroo legs in the pet shop. So I'm going to have to make a note on my map here, and let's see. So obviously, I don't want to be playing now from the beginning again and just doing everything over again. So what I will do then is I'm going to go back to the pet shop and see about getting a hopper, imagining then that this is a future playthrough. I'll do everything else exactly the same because it seems I've actually been doing a lot of the right stuff, which is also why I don't want to repeat this, and then see about getting a hopper. So if I go to 112, so this is where I found the crow. I bought the crow last time. Terrible mistake. This is the one I want, clearly, the hopper. A special creature, I presume, is that what it is? Familiar or special creature? Let's look at the special creatures. Go to 369. Might I suggest that you buy this wonderful little hopper, the old man says with a smile, pointing to the kangaroo-like creature that you were watching a few moments ago. His name is Robe, and he'll perch on your shoulder quite happily all day long, although he can hop along at walking pace if you tire of him sitting on you. Not only does Robe speak, he can also cast an invisibility spell on himself, and on you too. If he happens to be sitting on your shoulder, just say 111 and puff, you're invisible. So there we are. So and it's 111. So that is the number I need. That's the paragraph number I will need now. You also understand that the troll tongue. All I'm asking for, Robe, is 50 gold pieces. So 50 gold. If you wish to buy the hopper, turn to 335. So we have 335. If you would rather leave the shop without buying the familiar, turn to 218. So then we can go to 218. Okay. So 335. You hand over the gold to the old man, who quickly locks it away in a drawer. He picks up the little creature and places it on your shoulder, saying, "Now, Robe, be a good friend to your new owner. Remember everything I taught you." With the hopper sitting happily on your shoulder, you walk out of the shop and on up the street. Turn to 218. There we are. So, yes. So that's where you get the hopper, and 111, which is the what you need later. Okay, so we are back in the room, as it were, and now we have a hopper because, well, magic. And The docile creature sitting on your shoulder awakes from its slumber as you tap it gently on the head. Hoping the hopper will have the powers its vendor claimed for it, you try to recall the numbers that will trigger its invisibility. If you know the number, turn to it. If you do not know the number, turn to 303. So, 303. Or secret paragraph 111, which is the one I want to go to. So 111, let's turn invisible. The hopper makes several peculiar signs with its funny little hands while uttering a strange noise in the back of its throat. Suddenly you are invisible. You clap your hands but cannot see them. A few minutes later you return to your visible state. There's just one more thing, the oracle says frustratingly. I need a gold brooch. My daughter says she needs one, although I don't know what for, because she is 98 years old. So if you would be so kind as to give me a gold brooch, I will be in a position to help you. So this presumably is where, I don't know, the donation box seems like it's just a way for you to lose things that might be essential. So I don't know, it seems like a kind of trick so far. So I'm going to pretend that I do have the gold brooch still, even though I sort of donated it to the donation box earlier. If you possess the gold brooch, turn to the number that is inscribed on it. If you do not possess the brooch, turn to 297. So let's just move that up there. 297, and the gold brooch is 89. Thank you so much, says the oracle. And now, how can I help you? You explain that you believe the oracle can help you defeat Aglax. You ask if this is true. So, you wish to destroy the shadow demon. It is good that you have your army with you, as you would never reach Aglax alone. His forces are too great in number for you to slip through them. You must battle your way through to him. You will find a trail of destruction east of the Forest of Fiends. Follow that trail and you will soon catch up with the Shadow Demon's army of death. Even if you destroy his army, however, Gaglax will fight on alone. Your weapons will not harm him. Only a void spell will obliterate the demon. You must find the Crystal of Light. When you are within 6 feet of Aglax, hold the crystal in both hands and say 3, 2, 1, be gone. That is how you will rid this land of the shadow demon. Goodbye and good luck. The eyes of the stone face closed again, and you hear a grating sound behind you. Looking around, you see a section of wall sliding back. Filled with new confidence, you step into the tunnel that is revealed. Turn to 280. So, here we have another set of clues again. So, clue. We need a crystal of light. Crystal of light. And 3, 2, 1. Okay. That's the void spell. Okay. So basically, my army has to beat his army, and then when it's only Aglax, I will need to have the Crystal of Light. Okay, 280, and I think I'll just go on to my next page now. This. Let's see. That is page number 5, and we start down here with 280. Okay. The wall slides back into place behind you, and you feel suddenly trapped as you walk on. Further along the tunnel, you notice a piece of paper on the floor. If you wish to pick it up and read it, turn to 343. If you would rather just walk on, turn to 166. Read, walk. So, a piece of paper, that could be several things. It could be a curse. When you read it, you die. It could be a clue. It could be a hint. You never know. I'm going to read it anyway. See what happens. There is some writing on the paper, but it is in a language that you do not understand. If you are carrying the hopper, turn to 125. If you are not carrying the hopper, so it's written in Troll in that case. So, and we have decided for the day that I am carrying the hopper. So 125 294, and this would be very Ian Livingstone thing to do, to have something give you an advantage and a disadvantage both. Actually, that has happened before. So hopper, no hopper. Would you even have been here if you didn't have a hopper? I don't know. Maybe you would. Maybe you just didn't get any answer from the oracle. You just had to move on here. 125. The hopper jumps up and down on your shoulder, yapping frantically like an excited puppy. No right turns on the way out the caves, squeaks the hopper. What would you do without me? You make a couple of facetious suggestions and walk on. Turn to 166. No right turns on the way out of the caves. Okay, so basically now it's only left you're supposed to do. So, okay. Which makes sense, I suppose, because you're going out again now, so it's like the other way around, isn't it? Yes, 166. 125. No right. Out. That is a hint. There we are. 166. The tunnel opens out into a large cave and continues in the far wall. Between you and that tunnel, however, stands a tall reptilian creature with two heads. It skins a dead snake with its dagger and then takes one bite out of the snake with each head. Armored reptilians with two heads and an appetite for snakes can mean only one thing: catacombs, as seen in the Citadel of Chaos, actually. This is a very nice drawing of one, I must say. You step slowly into the cave, your hand on your sword hilt. The catacombs' heads both start talking at once, and you have difficulty understanding what it is saying. Thankfully, it takes another bite of snake with one head and continues talking with the other. Exit permit must be signed and sealed, it says to you irritably, thrusting a piece of parchment into your hands. It shouts, "Your seal! Give me your seal! If you have a gold seal, turn to the number that it is inscribed on it. If you do not have a seal, turn to 132. And I do have a seal, so right. So that is 100 and oops. Yes. That wasn't what I was intending, but okay. I'm on pencil mode there. So I go to 132 if you do not have a seal, or if you have a seal, its seal is 332 according to my papers. So 332. You reach for your seal and stamp it down on the hot wax, which the calacom drips onto the parchment. After signing your name above it, the calacom grunts and says, "Go." Without waiting for it to change its mind, you cross the cave to the tunnel, turn to 377. 377. Now, it sounds like a kind of a counter you would get by without the seal, but it's kind of fun to have it. If you walk into the tunnel and soon arrive at a junction. If you wish to go left, turn to 85. If you wish to go right, turn to 214. So now we are supposed to go left, according to the piece of paper. Let's see if that is true. The floor of the tunnel becomes steeper, and walking up it is quite an effort. But your legs suddenly feel full of running when you see a patch of white light ahead. The air smells fresher. Soon you are out of the cave and standing in broad daylight at the mouth of a cave only 100 yards away from your men. They are sitting in a circle, patiently waiting for you to appear from the cave that you entered not long ago. You call out to them and run to where they are sitting to tell them of your underground adventure. You decide to return to your waiting army without further delay. But the journey back starts with an unwelcome encounter. You see a dust cloud approaching and soon hear the sounds of galloping hoofs. 10 hostile centaurs charge down upon you. You must fight a skirmish battle. If you win, turn to 299. Right. Now, at this point, this is where you really should have been reminded, I guess, of how many men you have. Was it 15? I think it was 15, but I'll double check that. So let's see. 299. I do believe it was 15 men that accompanied you to the other side of the... let's see. 144. Okay, 57. Now, where does it say? Or is the skirmish battle all my army? Well, if it is, then it should be quite easy to defeat. Just, yeah. I wasn't sure if I had my whole army with me as I was approaching the caves now. I might do. Let's see, that's number 3. Doesn't look like there's a limited number in this case. It doesn't really matter so much, really. So I'm just going to do the skirmish battle against 10 men, was it? So I have superior numbers. So I'm rolling a die, and I got a 6, which means that 15 of the enemy dies, and so that's the end of that battle. And I go to 299. Okay. So 2 hours later, you are back at the watering hole where you find your troops fully fit and ready to march. You head east, and after crossing one of the tributaries that feed the River Cock, you come to the edge of the Forest of Fiends. Dark, twisted trees reach up to form a threatening wall. If you have Thog with you, turn to 36. If you do not have Thog, turn to 158. Thog is my guide. So I have Thog with me. At least I have not heard any word that he has been dismissed, has he? Let's see, 36, 158. Thog, no Thog, 36. Come on, follow me, Thog says jovially to hearten the nervous troops. There's nothing more than a few trees and a couple of monkeys. As you venture into the forest, the daylight quickly fades under a thick canopy of leaves overhead, and the whole place is deathly quiet. The creatures are watching us, whispers Thog, but the little ones around the edge won't do us any harm. It's later on that we should start to get worried. We'll go right here to avoid the tree men. Your army threads its way through the forest and on into its darkest depths. Turn to 180. 180. You pass by a stagnant pool above which the air is thick with hovering insects. In the middle of the pool, you can see the corner of a wooden box sticking out of the weed-covered water. I'm just wondering if maybe it would have been a good time to just take a break from my playing session again, to, in the spirit of trying to keep these episodes a bit shorter, and say that I pick up going into the forest next time. I think I'll do that actually, because this episode was my dungeon crawl into the Oracle. Very successful, I might add, although of course a few things were things that I had to backtrack a little bit on. At least I knew exactly where to find the things that I needed, so it's not like I had to figure out something entirely new, and I was pretty much already on the right path. I think I'll do that. Okay, so I do apologize for anyone who wanted a really long episode again, but I'll keep it, let's see, like that. So, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little playthrough again today, and my little encounter with the Oracle. And next time I'll drag you into the forest and see what happens there. And that might possibly be the last episode as well. We'll see how that goes. Presumably, once you're through the forest, which shouldn't take too long, you will get to Aglax's army. You have to defeat the army and then defeat Aglax. I am guessing that the crystal I need to defeat Aglax is somewhere to be found in the forest. So there might be a possibility that I will have to restart or backtrack somewhere in the forest, which means the forest episode might drag on a little bit if it's not too obvious where I have to go to find it. I'm quite sure the crystal has not been anywhere before the point of the Oracle telling me about it. It wouldn't make any sense for him to tell me about it after it could have been discovered. So at least not gamebook structure-wise, it wouldn't make any sense. So I'm guessing it is in the forest, and then I have to find it, and then that's the last piece of the puzzle, and then all that's left really is dice rolling and just finding the right path through. So I'll get there next time. Okay, thanks for watching, and you know what to do if you want to support my channel, and I'll see you next time. So goodbye for now, and have a nice one. Until then, bye-bye.